Fellas, you ever just turn on a stream with no plan? Just like, yep, I'm gonna turn the stream on and start talking. I don't know about what. I don't have a plan. I brought this up to listen to, but I kind of just want to listen to F-Zero now. I could just bring that up. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I don't have anything to do this weekend. I'm bad at 90% of my work is on the weekends because I work in live events. So any weekend I don't have anything to do, I'm just like, what do I do? What do normal people do? They go out or do stuff. It's a nice night where I am too. On the West Coast, everyone wears red glasses inside. Listen, these are for computer. They happen to be kind of fashionable. They help me look at computer for longer periods of time. It's a nice night here too. Honestly, I should stream for not very long so I can go out and like go for a walk or something. Oh yeah, a lot of you are dealing with bad weather because of those fires up there. I'm sorry about that. You can have my night instead, but you have to accept that you have no air conditioning for when it's like fucking hot as fuck during the day. I'm certainly sorry for everyone who has smoke troubles and storm troubles. Yeah, dude, me too. Speaking of, I'm gonna drink water. It's nice right now, as in it's like low mid 70s outside. Well, you have to let them lay on you. You simply have no choice. Need your own personal space heater, just make everything worse. Yeah, we're just talking about that. I'm good. We're fine here, which is odd. We're usually the ones getting insane wildfires, but we're good for now. But I'm sorry about everyone else on the East Coast. It's still probably like 80-something in my room right now, because my house does not ventilate very well, even when it's like colder outside. The air just doesn't come in. Anyway. Oh, wait, hang on. There's a Latin channel. And on Sims 1, there's a radio with different channels, like rock, country, whatever. There's a Latin channel. The Latin channel is like one vaguely mariachi song and then like 5 bossa nova songs, which I ain't complaining because I love bossa nova. You're still trying to get a window unit? I don't have a window. I have a sliding door to a yard right here, which is good. I like having that, but it makes a window unit basically infeasible because I would need to build some kind of apparatus with which to affix the window unit, but block off the rest of the air, you know? Can get me a window? I don't need one. I need a central AC, but I don't have it. I was gonna listen to F-Zero, now I want to listen to this. Damn it! It's so hard. So hard being me and enjoying music. What was I thinking about? I don't know why I start these streams so late. They make those big ones you pull over doors are kind of awesome if you need to stay cool. I know they make weird ones. There's a geometry to this door that I feel like makes it infeasible, but I would look into it. Maybe. been listening to music lately. Do I have that here? Here we go. Here we go. I forgot I cropped it so that it's Denji instead. I'll keep him up there for a while. Could get a swamp cooler. I have a teeny swamp cooler, which helps a little bit, but it's honestly too small. I need one of those big fucking swamp coolers. But I don't want to invest in a big fucking swamp cooler because I don't really have anywhere to put it. They're kind of a pain in the ass to take care of because, like, you gotta change the filter, which gets all... I have really hard water, so, like, the filter gets, like, gunked up immediately if I'm putting water in there. I need a shave, too. Put the dinosaur up? Hang on. Is he in here? Oh, shit. My old sprites are still here. Fuck yeah. Where are you? Oh, it's a wolfful little thing. Let me just explore. Oh. I have so many wolfful little things. That's Rockhawk. That's a drawing. What is this? What is this? Why do I have this here? Hang on, Denji, you need to move. Oh no, that's where chat is. Hang on. Floor title needs to be on top of everything. Chat folder needs to be just below that. Yeah. Firefox should be cropped. It's about here. That's Ochi? It is kind of Ochi. What is this? What? How long has this been here? There has come Fast Food Imperium? Yeah, sorry, that's probably TOS. There's Shithead. This also needs to go up here. Oh, I know who you are. This guy. Where Garurumon is here. Why do I have Where Garurumon in here? Get out of here, Where Garurumon. This is in here. I guess I'm just cleaning up this scene. Shit, I don't know about that. I think that's an edit that Paul Phoenix Reel made when I was watching all the CDI cutscenes. Mario middle finger cut you removed from chess.com? That's so funny. I use that as an emote on, I don't know, a couple of sites. Where's that good dinosaur gif? Hang on. I'll find it. Hang on. It's got to be in here somewhere. The good dinosaur Arlo gif? There it is. This troubles him. Is his name Arlo? Okay, sorry, Goemon. Pausing Goemon. Where is... I really need to clean this scene up. God damn it. There it is. Someone on YouTube offered me... That's not what I was looking for. Where'd he go? Someone on YouTube... This is not related, but I was thinking about it. Someone on YouTube offered an explanation for where this came from, and it makes sense. It's from... Oh, wait, you can't fucking hear the music. God damn it. I'm fucking stupid. Now I need to fucking restart the sick beats and listen to them again. No. It came from Rock Hawk, yes, but it's from one of those mods where they like Google Translate into another language 50 times and then work their way back to English. This original line is like, if I see you under those lights, you're gonna get it. Rock! Remember the rock! Which makes a lot of sense, but I love that that makes me appreciate it even more that it translated into something so poignant. The light within you will destroy you. Remember. This is like an all-time image. This is probably one of my favorite picks ever. I gotta get some of these... Gotta get some of these woeful things out of there. Shit Aaron would say? Exactly. That's why I love it. It's Mario if he was a goner. It's Mario if he was the servant of W.D. Gaster. Hang on. Let me make one. Oh, Banshee need triggered a win 7 minutes ago, and I didn't even see it. Hang on. Which one do you got? You get this one.
Welcome to Victory Lane. You made it.
First. That's good, Briscoe. Yeah, streaming 360p as an artistic choice. They didn't know they had a Jeffrey McWild tribute? They sure do. He's the shining star of Daytona, USA. What's this from? It is from the album that you can kind of see. in Firefox. The album is just called F-Zero. It is an arrangement album by a number of people. Pee-wee and Michiko Hill. If you search up F-Zero arrangement 1992, you'll probably find it. It's on YouTube. I need to... I got a lot of cleaning to do. My dear friend, Paul, is going on tour for a very long time, so he's been forced to kind of like find room for a lot of his stuff, namely a deluge of Pathfinder books. So I have like a stack of tabletop books about like, I can't even say, probably like easily a 4-foot tall stack of books, just like need to go somewhere, and my room is really messed up right now, so they probably need to go in that corner somewhere. The idea of a US city having a bronze statue dedicated to a guy who doesn't do anything but look for a big fish. The humble people of Daytona, USA recognizes greatness. But anyway, so I have a bunch of fucking Pathfinder books in my car that I need to find room for somewhere, so I have to clean up my room. A Jeffrey statue would be pretty baller. I'd love to have a Jeffrey statue in real life. Jeffrey! What other games did Yumiko Konki do music for? She didn't have much to do with this album specifically, but man, do I love the original F-Zero. You fine, Jeffrey. You fine, Jeffrey. And you fine, Jeffrey. She worked on Star Fox 2, that's right. She did Famicom Golf, Japan course and US course. She did F-Zero, she did Tetris and Dr. Mario. She did Star Fox 2, she did Special T-Shot, and that's it. Or no, she's credited as a sound composer on half of those games. She's credited for the music for F-Zero, obviously. She is a music composer for Star Fox 2. And then a sound composer for all the other ones. Tetris and Dr. Mario's music is good. I don't even know if she did that. It just says that she worked on it. But it's probably one of those things where if they listed one person doing sound, she probably did the music. Take me to the credits. Do you not have the credits for Tetris and Dr. Mario? I'm gonna have to go to Moby Games. Hang on. Moby Games. Moby Games is performing a Cloudflare check on me. Oh, it just has a flat staff. Oh, Tataka worked on that. Whoa, wait a minute. This is a star-studded cast. Tataka and Hirokazu Tanaka are both on this. That's a lot of good musicians to have on one album. So who knows who did what. I'm gonna get a frozen Snickers bar. Don't do anything cool for like 10 minutes. I'll try. She probably did compositions, but not the programming. Ah, that makes sense. Oh, probably. Oh, you're right. Tanaka did do the Mario music, so he's probably credited for that. I wouldn't know. Yeah, it looks like they just did a staff roll. Here's everyone. Either way, she's good. I hope she's up to, I don't know, I hope she's happy not doing video games. Should we listen to Tetris and Dr. Mario after this? We can do that. Everyone knows Fever. Fever's a classic. What game music was I thinking about today? I don't remember. You know what I've been playing? I've been replaying Tears of the Kingdom. That's an interesting game. I think much better than a game that is good or a game that is bad is a game that is interesting. And I think Tears of the Kingdom is kind of polarizing. I'm in the I like it camp. Well, I actually already played it before. I'm just replaying it because I played the hell out of it when it came out, beat it, and then just like a week ago I was like, man, I want to play that game again. So I am. I struggle with getting into that game. I don't blame you. There's a lot of people I've heard that same sentiment from. I just been thinking a lot about it because it's just such a weird game, both from the perspective of like, it's in the camp of like, we need a word for like same engine sequels, you know? But not like same engine sequels in the way that like BioShock 2 is a sequel to BioShock 1, because obviously that's a same engine sequel, but like a sequel in the way of like a retrofitting sequel. Majora, like, yeah, like Majora and I don't think Tears of the Kingdom had the same time constraint, obviously. They had a lot of time. They had what? Like, it was like 8 years between Breath of the Wild and that, so they had time. But I think of it in the same camp as like Majora and Fallout New Vegas, where like they've built the groundwork and then they're like, all right, take that, do something new with it, be a little weird with it. It was originally a DLC that got scope creeped. That makes sense. Which actually kind of explains why it's so weird. Because it's like, the thing I think is really interesting, and I've been thinking a lot about this, every Zelda, Tears and Breath of the Wilds aren't like traditional Zeldas in any way, but they're still Zelda games, right? Every Zelda game, I think, because I'm a big Zelda fan, I like all the old Zeldas, but like, I think an important part of what makes a Zelda game is that the story kind of, it covers two posts from like whimsy and danger, right? Like, every Zelda story has like a little bit of whimsy and a little bit of danger. Like, you could view any Zelda as being like the most fucked up Zelda because of key details here and there, but there's always something kind of fun about it, and it weaves its way between them. And every Zelda kind of like shifts the goalpost one way or another. Like Ocarina of Time is like squarely in the middle. Majora's Mask is much more on the danger side, but it's still whimsical. It's not all no Zelda game is all the way on one side or the other, right? Majora's a little bit more this way. Wind Waker is like pretty far over to the whimsy side, but not all the way. They pivoted by going really hard in the danger direction for Twilight Princess, right? You know what I mean? Like every game, they just kind of like decide where to push it. Breath of the Wild's kind of in the middle, maybe a little more to the danger side. Tears of the Kingdom's weird because they didn't push the bar to either side from Breath of the Wild. They expanded it because it has like way darker material than Breath of the Wild. And it also has Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts cars that you can just drive around and solve every problem with. Something I was thinking of, and this is the thing that I think is like one of my favorite moments in Tears of the Kingdom. Hang on. The damn calendar is not having Link and Zelda be permanently changed? 100% agree. 100%. That is my biggest criticism with Tears of the Kingdom, is that they fucking had the golden goose and pussed out. They fucking had it. If they landed that plane, which I can't even say that like, oh, they fucked up. It was clearly like, nah, make it, it's fine. It has to be a happy ending. If they landed that plane, that would have been like one of the best things in any Zelda game. But they pussed out. Anyway, what was I thinking of? Let me just find a video of it. Spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom if you care. Just don't have...
Hi everyone, welcome back to...
No commentary, please. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Happy Hippo 183 for your... from 9 months ago, wow. Okay, there's so many things I really like about Tears of the Kingdom. One of them is like, this is like meant to be one of the last quests in like the main story category. You could just go do this pretty much as soon as possible, right? If you just know where to go. They don't keep you from doing it. They're just like, hey. It's like, hey, you know that place that's like shrouded in storms? Pretty weird, right? And then if you know where to go and find it, you can find it. And like... Anyway, the Spirit Temple section is like... The main point of the Spirit Temple segment is that you find... Minoru and learn how to use the construct and everything like that. Just, you know, just kind of like a sequel. It's cool because it's like a hypothetical dungeon, right? Like you're not in a dungeon with rooms. You're in like, you're just doing a series of challenges. And then the second half of it is like a hike, you know? It's just kind of like, we need to go over there. And then you learn how to use her all on the hike and stuff like that. Either way, so it's like, it's a fun idea gameplay wise. And then the final boss is like a mirror match with, what do you mean an error occurred? The final boss is like a mirror match with the enemy construct. The thing that sticks with me so much is that this is like, tonally, it's like kind of, I don't want to say morbid, but it's kind of like somber. Like the whole time you're doing the kind of like running around errors, there's like this kind of like very nice, very somber music playing in that section of the depths. And like the whole thing with like, you know, Minoru's ghost, like her body was like atrophied beyond repair, so she had to like remain as a spirit. And, you know, it's kind of like, if you think about it, there's a lot of like kind of somberness to read in there. You know, there's a lot to just kind of chew on. You know, it's got a good vibe to it. And then you get to the Spirit Temple, you see the MacGuffin, you step into this boss arena, and you fight the enemy constructs. It's just a specific thing. walked far enough into the boss arena. Uh-oh, the boss is gonna show up. If it loads. This right here. Because there is no barbed wire anywhere in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They just spring this on you right now. Like, as a game designer, the boss battle is like a sumo bop the enemy into the deadly wall kind of deal, right? And if you're doing like a bop the enemy into the deadly wall kind of deal, there's all sorts of ways you can portray the walls are dangerous, right? Like, spikes aren't, like, if we're talking like purely visual design, in the visual language of the game, spikes are visual language, thorns are visual language, even laser barriers are part of the visual language. They went, nope, barbed wire erupts from the ground of the spirit temple, of the ancient spirit temple, as if it had always been there, because this game is telling you, yep, cage fight, I get it. Fucking stupid. It's so stupid. I love it. It's so fucking funny. And that's the sort of thing that, like, if someone hates that, I totally get it. Because it's, like, immensely immersion breaking. But it's so funny. You know what I mean? I love that kind of shit. Man, what the hell happens in these games? A lot of cool shit, a lot of whatever shit. That game was fucked because I did the Zora stuff where Zelda's mysterious and vague, then I got the Master Sword, and then I have to go word for she's making an evil rock. Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of stuff. The game is really good about letting you do stuff in whatever order you want, but there is kind of like a sequencing issue where, like, if Link weren't mute, a lot of these problems could have been resolved much more easily, but, like, you already know where Zelda is and that Zelda isn't around. And all these stories about Zelda showing up are the work of, like, some evildoer. So it's like, you like, one thing that, like, if I remember correctly, I haven't done it yet, because one of my thing I've been doing is playing everything out of order. I like getting, like, the Master Sword first, getting Minoru second, not touching a single main quest line, just doing all the side quest stuff I want till I get bored, you know? Just having my own fun with it. But if I remember correctly, like, every single time you beat a temple, you're treated with the same cutscene. Like, it's with each sage, but you're treated with the same cutscene each time. And it's like, that makes sense, because every dungeon could be the first one you do. But it feels like the game should have a flag like, I've already watched this cutscene, I'm good, I get it. And then skip it, but they don't. And so there's just a lot of, like, weird Nintendo clunkiness where it's like the writing doesn't really pan out for a lot of these things. They're called secret stones, which is also just a rough translation. The game does a great job of showing the intended path. It wants nothing more than for you to go on the intended path. But if you're me, you're like, I want to do some other stuff first, and then you find your way to getting the Master... Like, when I played the game originally, I figured out where the Master Sword was on my own, because I was, like, watching some of the ancillary memory cutscenes. I was like, I worked it out in my head. I was like, oh shit, wait. And that was an amazing, like, aha, eureka moment. And the game didn't... Like, the game... If you follow the main quest line to the letter, the game pretty much tells you, like, hey, maybe you should check this out. And then you go there and do it, right? But, like, the ability to discover that for yourself is fucking great. I love that. Off topic, you ever listen to the Armored Core soundtrack? No, I should, because it's done by the Evergrace guy. And I love Evergrace. Evergrace is fucking baller. Reminds me of how in the latest FF14 X-Pack there's a raid fight right after all that other incident, like personal fights with the boss that has like a serious story, and then the third one is a razor wire WWE anything goes match, and the music is a groaning industrial metal track where the only lyric is die, 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 and you fight a guy fused with a bomb and a speedo. See, it's like, I think that stuff is fun. I think there's a time and a place for it. But that's sort of a taste thing that I have that I totally get when other people aren't really very into. The game really rewards curiosity in a very pleasing way. Yeah, like, so much of the game is like, it indulges your curiosity. Just like, go figure it out, you know? The game has all sorts of things in it that are Nintendo, you know, it's like, hey, go over here and do this for me, you know, but it's like, the game itself is telling you, do whatever you want. Like, especially with, like, the central mechanics, right? Like, the powers you have. In Breath of the Wild, you have, like, Bomb, all-in-one combat puzzle tool. Cryonis helps you with water. Like, all the, you know, they're all, like, puzzle tools, but also, like, Cryonis lets you deal with water. Magnesis lets you deal with anything metal, which is a lot of stuff. Those alone already, and then Stasis lets you freeze anything that can move. So, like, all of these things have, like, wide-reaching implications for your interactivity with the game, right? And there's a lot of, like, things that, you know, are like, oh, yeah, you actually can do that, which is fun. But then, you know, stuff like bomb hovering, where, like, you jump, shield surf, drop 2 bombs, have one blow the other one into you, and then you blow the second one, and then you, like, fucking launch yourself up in the air with, like, no resources. Like, they probably didn't mean for you to do that, but that's the sort of thing that the game is like, whoa, hey, nicely done. Pretty fun, huh? Tears of the Kingdom, with the abilities they give you, they're like, sure, fuck it, whatever. I don't know, break the game. Who gives a shit? It's like all of the things you get, and as soon as you get them, you're like, there's so many ways I could break the game with this, and they seem to just be like, yeah, why not? Just have fun. Which I love. I think that's great. It's very emergent, exactly, but it's like, in terms of like a structured game, it's a game that does this kind of like heavy-hitting, really cool, tonal, dark stuff with the Breath of the Wild universe, at the same time as like the funny Cars game and the funny Powers whatever game, you know? All sorts of crazy stuff. It's polar opposites. It sounds extremely into setting up a HAS and OOT. Like, pretty much, yes. It is. It's like a fundamentally different trick, but from I've never really done it, but like from what I understand of that, it is pretty much the same kind of trick. And it's probably the same thing. Like, well, it's different in like Ocarina because you're triggering like a weird state where like you're maintaining velocity. In Breath of the Wild, it's just a very useful impulse to like launch you, because there's lots of ways to generate impulses in Breath of the Wild. Like the stasis ability is pretty much there to generate impulse, because like you freeze an object and then you hit it, and while you freeze it, it like applies a vector that holds until the stasis wears off, and then it launches the object. So you like can hop, like you can stasis an object, hit it a bunch of times. You'll see like an arrow telling you this is going to go that way. You hop on it and then you go that way, right? So the game is built around these sort of like very fundamental physics interactions, and Tears of the Kingdom is as well. He's the guy who can fly by blowing himself up, just like a cartoon. Exactly. Link is very resourceful. You missed the motorcycle? Yeah, I did miss the motorcycle. It was good. See, I thought like, I mean, obviously they're using a third of the same map, but like, I think that's what made the depths so cool, is like, the depths and the Sky Islands like reward your knowledge with the original map. And you kind of see all these like correlations, and you know, one, it's just more map to explore, which is cool, but then it also rewards like stuff you might remember about Breath of the Wild. You can go back and check it, and it's like this, you know, it doesn't have the same density. Well, it kind of has the same density of things on the surface, honestly. It's just kind of like a different type of exploration. Like, I loved how the depths worked. I thought the Skylands were cool. They're kind of limited, but it does feel very cool to play with like verticality in that way. That pissed you off you were in hell? See, I thought they were like, I thought they're fun. It's like, a lot of them are, I don't know. It's a whole thing. Like I said, every criticism with Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, yep, I see that. I like most of it. My biggest problem, I don't think the story's very good. The one part of the story that is really fucking good, they pussed out on in the end. A lot of the other stuff is just kind of like, whatever. But the gameplay and like the exploration and like the just making your own fun, I love that. Love it. Either way, I've been playing Tears of Tea Kingdom. And I think that game is fascinating. Yeah, Early Depths it's challenging, but it's fun just to, like, roam around in the dark with, like, only a few resources to your name, and then you just, like, dive down a hole and find, like, a fuck-ass boss you've never seen before, and you're like, holy shit, what? Huh. You can't hear the Stone Talus theme without hearing Living in America. What's the Talus theme? I'm trying to summon... I can't summon it while I'm listening to other music. I should have been howling about Link and Zelda, but they beat it. I was! And I was like, as soon as I realized what was going on, I was like, oh, fuck. If they don't fucking fuck this up, this could be one of the greatest things in any Zelda game. And then they fucked it up. I was like, fuck, damn it. And I thought the ending was, like, fun. Like, I like the... If they fucked up by establishing the stakes as irreversible, and they're like, never mind, it's reversible, it's like, fuck off. Just say, like, I don't know, it's reversible, maybe. And then when it's reversed, I wouldn't care so much. But the fact that it was irreversible was the thing that made it really fucking cool. It's like, fuck, that would have been awesome if they stuck with that. And also just starting the game with, like, Link's arm getting blown off and he's like, hey, you have a new arm. Sorry, I'm in it. I'm a ghost. Hi. Is like, you know, it's not like the darkest thing ever, but it is kind of like just a generally harrowing thing to just happen right off the jump. And then for no reason, he gets his arm back. They didn't need to do that. He could have just kept his weird fucked up arm. They even gave him his arm back. Yeah, the big thing that I'm dancing around is, like, that was amazing to, like, figure out on my own. Because I just remember, like, there's the one cutscene where, like, they offhandedly mention the endragoning process, and then I go, oh shit, wait. There's been a fourth dragon this entire game so far. Oh fuck. I was wondering what was up with that, and, like, that was fucking awesome. And then the cutscene for it, like, you know, if you're following the game to the letter, you're rewarded with a really cool cutscene where it happens, but it's like, damn. Could have been awesome. Could have been badass. Wait, so these Tears of the Kingdom. I understand now. I have no idea what they're gonna... Unrelated. Slightly unrelated. I don't know what they're gonna do with Zelda from now on. I mean, like, that was a good 2 games, I think. I think Aonuma's made it very clear that, like, the old Zelda formula was kind of a dead end. But, like, I don't know if this one is a winning formula beyond 2 games, right? Oh, right, they're doing an OOT remake. Fucking forgot. Hang on. Sorry about that. Nick's a real boy this time. He's a real boy who sleeps on a bed of leaves. I've only had room in my heart for Deltarune and Densha Attack. I haven't heard much about Densha Attack. That just came out, right? I do like me some Deltarune. Oh god, if it has voice acting? Oh. Oh, yuck. You know, I was watching gameplay of the new Star Fox, and the voice acting is not bad. Leaves a bit to be desired, but it's not bad. They got a lot of young talent that seemingly has not been in a lot of stuff. which was good. Fucking, what's his name? This is a Newgrounds poll. Fucking, like, Rice Pirate was Pigma or something like that. I was like, what the hell? I'm not surprised, but, like, stay focused, L. Oh, God, this is gonna suck. You got 2 mil to do half the songs? That's cool. I'll listen to music. Yeah, Mick Lauer's still around. Yeah, good for him. He's like... He's just doing real deal shit now. It's just like, looking at him like, oh yeah, hey, Mick Lauer's still around. But yeah, like, Tears of the Kingdom, also another thing about Tears of the Kingdom, the Breath of the Wild voice acting, the English voice acting specifically, was like, it was fine. I didn't really think anything of it. Tears of the Kingdom, it genuinely started bothering me. I was like, I don't know what happened between Breath of the Wild and now. I think the voice direction got worse, not the voice actors themselves. But the voice direction was like, so middling that I was just like, I don't want to listen. I switched the voices to Japanese. I'm like, I don't want to hear this in English anymore. British Zelda's always kind of rubbed me wrong. I think she's okay, but something about like her work in Tears of the Kingdom just felt like really like stilted and unnatural. Yeah, Bonanza and TOTK voice direction was done by aliens. I agree. There's some, I don't know what happened with that. But, which is why when I heard Star Fox's new voice acting, I was like, uh-oh. And it's not bad, honestly. It's fine. It's much better than that level that Nintendo's been working at. So I don't know, maybe they got their act together. It's not even that great. It's just like, it's not bad, which is unfortunately a very low bar for Nintendo to clear. Soundtrack got T. Lopez, 2 Mellow, Takanobu Mitsuyoshi, Ryo Nagamatsu, Kota Takahashi, Richard Jock, Shogun Miro. That's a pretty killer soundtrack. Damn. The Pauline voice direction was bad because it's like a real kid. Was it a real kid? She sounded like an adult doing a kid voice. No, not a real kid. Yeah, it sounded like bad. Star Trek VO was better than you thought, the less you wanted. Yeah, that's how I feel too. They pulled a lot of people for an indie game from Spain. Good on them. They did it. I'll have to check it out. I don't know if I need a shave. Man, my fucking face is itchy. I keep rubbing it. The Andros voice actor pissed me off because he didn't have the filter on. He was just yelling it. Yeah. It could have been... They could have had more fun with it, you know? They at least said all the lines that they were supposed to say. You ever see those super high effort fan animations of Star Fox? I think you're referring to one specific guy who unfortunately got milkshake ducked pretty recently. So it goes. Those things were cool. It was like, I didn't really super care about it, but I was like, oh wow, it's cool that someone's doing this. Milkshake Duck would be a good Star Fox antagonist, yeah. Don't say it, Milkshake Duck! Only I have the past tweets to rule, Lilat. don't have to allow gay as fuck. I really want to know what Nintendo was thinking remaking 64 again. I think they were just picturing big dollar signs in their brain. I don't know if there's a reason for it. I mean, they do that and then they remake OOT, like... I think it's just big dollar signs. That's the thing that makes me more interested, is the fact that they put Fox in that fuck-ass Mario movie. Which is like... Could they be... They might be working their way... I mean, they're definitely working their way to more movies. I think just like... Business-wise, I think they've gotten themselves out of the hole. Like, it took them like 30 years to get themselves out of the hole of like, we're never making another movie again. And now they've made 2 kids movies that did big numbers, regardless of how good they are. Not bad. I have to cough. Why did I say going? There's no way they have Glenn Powell as Fox and they don't make a Star Fox movie. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know if they've totally made their bed with Illumination. They seem to be more okay, because they've had a lot of games in the past number of years that are just made by other studios, right? So, like, I think they're getting more and more okay with, like, trusting the IP to other people, including other studios with, like, Illumination and shit. So there's probably their communication pipeline has gotten better, where, like, Nintendo higher-ups have a much clearer line to the product than they used to. Because whatever the fuck happened with the Mario movie, I don't think they were paying that close attention, you know? They have a live-action Zelda movie coming out. They've had a live... They've talked about doing a live-action Zelda... Not even Nintendo specifically, but just, like, the rumors of a live-action Zelda movie have existed, like, as long as I have, you know? They've been talking about a Zelda movie for some time now. But yeah, they're talking about that actual one that they're apparently working on. Who knows what that's going to be? That's probably also going to be Ocarina of Time, you know? It's like... I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. There's set leaks for this one? Ooh, that's fun. There are set leaks for, they're making that Elden Ring movie. There were set leaks for that one, too. The Mario movie was a married couple making something insane and barely showing any data to anyone? Yeah, I know, it's awesome. It's not good, but it's awesome, you know? I recall Link looks like Breath of the Wild. That also makes sense. You know someone working on the Elden Ring movie? That's fun. I knew full well that gamer movies were coming in a big way. I would be just curious to see them, you know? Elden Ring is kind of like a blank slate to me. I feel like if I were a Hollywood film-making superstar and people were coming to me and being like, Mike, make the next video game movie, I would have, like, a lot of video game properties would be like, yeah, I'll do that. I got a good idea for that. Like, Dark Souls, I could make a Dark Souls movie. I could see them making a good Elden Ring movie. Mario? Zelda? Fuck no. Why would I... No. You mean I have to answer to, like, the higher-ups at Nintendo and make something that's, like, good? That's not happening. It's gonna suck ass. Literally answering to Miyamoto? Yeah, fuck that. Like, I love making movies and thinking about movies and shit like that. I need Nintendo. Listen, I know this sounds insane. I've talked about this before, and this sounds like the most white guy from Los Angeles thing for me to say, I know. They need to let me make, like, an Earthbound show. One season of an Earthbound show. I could do it. I could land the plane. That may be absolute mania of me to say it, but, like, I could land the plane. but no one would ever do that. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, I don't know, they don't care, do they? I mean, they care that they own Earthbound, but they're not going to do anything with it. A Robot Alchemic Drive movie. Like a self-aware Robot Alchemic Drive movie would be pretty funny. I think you could make that work. That'd be really fun to have, like, a fully produced, cool sci-fi mech movie, and all of the acting is, like, completely inexplicable and just really bizarrely paced. That would be really funny. It's called Stranger Things? That's what I'm saying, dog. I was watching, like, the first season of Stranger Things. It wasn't like, oh, an Earthbound show would be just like this, but watching Stranger Things made me think, like, I see the ley lines for an Earthbound show. This has made me realize that it could work, you know? You have any specific actors in mind, or would you let the audition process surprise you? In terms of the kids, I would just try to find good kids, you know? Doesn't matter what they look like. They would just have to play it well. Though I do have one casting in mind. This is a pipe dream on top of a pipe dream. The one casting that I would feel very, very strongly about, specifically the main two Blues Brothers guys from the Runaway Five, Matt and Jay from Nirvana, the band, the show. I've had that in my brain for like 10 years. I was like, if I ever make that Earthbound show, which is never going to happen, if I ever do that, those are the first people I'm asking for that. Otherwise, I don't know. Earthbound it's more about, it would just be getting a lot of, like, really good character actors. It's way more in, like, the presentation of it, you know? Less than, like, having great character drama. Like, it would be, like, really good character acting and then, like, moments of authenticity. I would want kid actors that could get actual, like, authenticity between them. Because I think that's a core part of, like, that group's demographic that would be fun to explore. Featuring Vin Diesel as Buzz. That'd be funny. Yeah. In my mind, Buzz would be, like... He wouldn't be, like, a bug. He would just be, like, a bizarre-looking, kind of robotic-looking alien. But, like, you don't get, like, a close-up of him. You know, like, in a movie, you'd get, like, a... Huh? What is that thing? And then there's, like, a zoom up, and it's like, whoa, he actually looks weird. You would never get a close look. You'd be able to tell that he wasn't actually a bug, but he looked a lot like a bug. And he would have, like... I don't know. He would have to have, like, some very, like, authoritative voice to it. Bob Odenkirk is dad on phone? I could get behind that. I like that. Phone calls with dad would be a very important part of it. I think oh, Monotoli, that would also be a good pick. Would each episode be one area? I don't know. I think in terms of pacing, Earthbound's pacing does not lend itself to do the whole thing straight all the way through. I need something else to listen to. Tetris and Dr. Mario. Hell yeah. What was I saying? Fuck. It would involve, like, looking at the entirety of Earthbound and seeing what you have in terms of, like, characters and stuff like that, and then pacing everything based on that. It would also be, like, kind of, like, in a realistic world, it would be, like, how many episodes am I actually getting? And then, the reason I say show instead of movie is because I think there's too much to play with for one movie, but I don't think you need any more than, like, a short season of television, you know? I really have no idea what happens in Earthbound. They go to Farside to fight the Blue Man Group in a crazy image attack. That's it, basically. But the whole thing, and I think the thing that appeals to me about it is that, like, that game was like Shigesato Itoi, and the Mother series in general, but especially Earthbound. It was like Itoi trying to make a Steven Spielberg movie into a video game. And by that metric, it makes it really easy to retranslate that back into a movie in my brain. Like, I see the ley lines because it's playing with like this pastiche of Americana so thoroughly that it would be really, really easy to portray that in like a late century, as in 1970s to 90s kind of pastiche of a story, and then you're just kind of like layering all the cool sci-fi stuff on top, right? Moonside episode? Yeah, like Moonside would definitely be in it. I don't know if it'd be like a whole episode, right? You know, I think thinking of it in terms of like, oh, they do one thing per episode, it would have to be more structured than that. It would just be like laying out the whole story start to end and then figuring out where to place everything, right? I'm thinking like prestige television. You know, prestige television shows are not just like, this is the episode where this happens, and then this is the episode where this happens. It's just kind of like, it's ongoing, and it just picks good breaks to stop, you know? It's like it took a 70s... It's like a 70s kid version of a road trip film. How'd you tackle Mr. Saturn's? Realistically, CGI... My heart says weird puppets. But I don't know. That'd be one I'd have to take to the design team. It'd be funny if it's a mini-series having multiple ants covering the vocal version of Pollyanna for the opening. That would be fun. I would definitely want to feature Pollyanna in it somewhere. The big thing, I think this is the thing that would actually make it impossible. There would be so much licensed music that I would need to use. Like, all of the music that, oh, how did I forget his name? What's the guy that worked on the music that's not Chip Tanaka? The other guy, he was in Beatniks with Yukihiro Takahashi. Keiichi Suzuki. Like, all the stuff that, like, Chip Tanaka and Keiichi Suzuki were, like, inspired by when they were making the music, like Beatles, John Lennon specifically, Randy Newman, like, all these weird connection points are, like, these are songs you could use in that kind of show, but it would involve licensing, which would be another problem of itself. Yeah, you'd have to get some Beach Boy songs in there. You'd have to get... There's so much music that you'd have to play in it. And I think music would be like a huge lynch point for me in terms of what I think about for the series. You love weird puppets? We had puppet masters at one of my college acting classes once, and they let me with a puppet based on the sun. That sounds fun. I love me some puppets. Oh, you could just reference the Earthbound music? Yeah, obviously. That would be like any movie that uses licensed music, you could separate it into like soundtrack and score. The soundtrack is like Mother by John Lennon, something by the Beach Boys, something by I don't know. I would need to build like a concept soundtrack for the thing, and then the score would be like, oh, this is Earthbound music, you know? God Only Knows sang by a group of retro age hippies. Yeah, it could just be God Only Knows too, you know? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I wouldn't do Johnny Be Good, I don't think. That would be too direct of a reference in my eyes. I wouldn't want to do something that direct. I would want to do like the more conceptual stuff. Like Mother by John Lennon would be one, like, because they've talked about, like, there was this one interview they did where they talked about like all the music that they were listening to while they were making Earthbound. And if you go through that interview, you see a lot of stuff that doesn't have like clear, like, oh, that's what inspired this song. Oh, that's what inspired this song. But you see like tonally, thematically, the kind of space that they were in when they were writing the music. And I think that's interesting because that's all music that you can kind of like tie in. Like, there's no song in Earthbound that sounds like a Harry Nilsson song, but a Harry Nilsson song in such an Earthbound show would be like, mwah, mwah. Hilariously, the Mario World cartoon is very illustrative of what you mean versus score and soundtrack. Yeah, lots of things. That's true. That is a very literal, actual version of what I mean. I'm thinking more like, I don't know. I can't think of an adaptation, but like... Hello. We're just yammering away. I'm talking about a hypothetical Earthbound TV show. That'll never happen. Because we were talking about Zelda, which led into talking about like television adaptations, TV movie adaptations of video games, which are plentiful now. It was Deirdre for the place. Yeah, like dropping Deirdre would be one. Deirdre would be a direct reference that I feel like would be fun at some point. There would be, I could think of like maybe fun ways to like slip that in as like a, The most evil possible Earthbound thing God only knows, covered by Post Malone. That's a tough one to stir in the palate. You got me thinking about that one. You could see the point being a town in Earthbound. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like it has that flavor. It's like a textural thematic flavor thing that works for it. So it would be a lot of like playing with real world music versus the actual music in Earthbound. Like, you know, the Runaway Five would be doing their own song. They wouldn't be doing like a real song, but real music would be still slipping this way in. All You Need Is Love. Maybe? I don't know. I'm sure there's a place to use it. I'd be thinking about it less as, like, the music placement would be thinking less about, like, very direct references to stuff. I'm very big when it comes to a piece of media using a piece of licensed music. I feel like you gotta have a very clear and present intent for using a piece of licensed music in a work. And then, secondarily, you have to know your place when it comes to using licensed music. You can't just use an extremely popular or like really famous song just because it means something to you and you see something in this moment. You need to be able to think about that, step back and look at it and be like, do I deserve to use this? There's something very specific that I have in mind when I'm saying these words. Do I need to be using Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely in this? Maybe you feel strongly about it. Is this the right work for Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder? I don't think so. I think anyone who would be willing to take a step back and look at what you're doing is like, maybe use something else. Like, I know you can get it, but like, I don't know. Oh boy. Ugh, it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Makes you roll your eyes. So I wouldn't want that. I would want, and I think like All You Need Is Love is a song that could roll eyes if you use it at the wrong moment, right? Lots of Beatles songs are, but not all of them. I do feel like there could be a place for All You Need Is Love, or some famous Beatles song. And a cover by a YouTuber. Don't remind me, brother. Ugh. Don't remind me. People like this shit? Anyway, I Can't Stop Loving You in Metropolis. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shit is good when you, like, use it in the right spot. When you use, like, a deep cut somewhere, something weird. Think about, man, I love, Baby Driver. The Edgar Wright movie. I just like Edgar Wright in general. Baby Driver is a great... I love, jukebox movie. I hesitate to call it a jukebox movie. Baby Driver is an action movie that has a very clear jukebox through line, right? Man, if I ever watch that movie again, I would need to be able to focus and go into like a deep meditative state for like a full hour before I rewatch Baby Driver to forget who Kevin Spacey is. But I'd love to rewatch that movie someday, because that movie's like, oh, the music that he uses, like all the music choices, like all these like really weird deep cuts that clearly mean a lot to him, but like draw a lot of attention for being like very interesting. Like this one really tense action scene using fucking Hocus Pocus by Focus. Like, oh, immaculate choice for a piece of music. Yeah, and the opening scene with John Spencer Blues Explosion, like that one song, Bell Bottoms, is like fucking awesome. That shit rules. Yeah, and I really like Guardians of the Galaxy too. Like, I'm not big on Marvel stuff, but like I really like James Gunn, and like Guardians of the Galaxy used licensed music in like a very fun, sort of playful way that I appreciated. Yeah, dude, Hocus Pocus is in that damn movie, and it's awesome. If I were to ever make a movie, I'd add a lot of Steely Dan. Steely Dan is the sort of thing that, like, unless you were just playing, like, Reelin' in the Years in the, like, a background song, I would feel like if I were to use Steely Dan in a piece of media, I would feel like I would need a very good reason to use it. I can't just, like, throw a Steely Dan song in there just because I want it there, right? Like, I would need, like, a clear reason to use it. It's like, I don't know. It's like there's a couple songs I can think of, like, maybe finding a use for, but it would be kind of like working your way backwards from, like, I want to use this song in something, right? The end is on Gun Touch. Yeah, exactly. Shit like that. It's awesome. Yeah, Smile. See, like, the thing is, if I were to use, like, anything Beach Boys related, I would probably use something from, like, Smile. Smile has, like, the kind of special vibe to it. I would not be using, like, Fun Till the Daddy Took the T-Bird Away, because that's the sort of song you use to, like, play in the background to say, like, we are in Southern California in the 1950s. That's what, that song has a metatextual identity beyond its place as a piece of music. That is a song you use in a movie when you want to show someone that you're in Southern California sometime in the late century, right? I like it in Freddy Got Fingered when they play Gary Newman Cars. That is a good use for it. Get Tunerville Trolley in there? Why not? Get Tunerville Trolley in there. Get the Electric Prunes in there. But yeah, I feel very strongly about using licensed music and stuff, and if I ever got a chance to make something with an actual budget and actual licensed music, I would be very, like, meticulous in choosing stuff. I'd be slipping weird deep cuts in there. I'd be slipping fucking Tom Waits songs that no one's ever fucking heard of before. The Litigious Prunes. Oh no, if the Electric Prunes come after me for using Tunerville Trolley in my hypothetical television show that I'll never make. Fuck. I had my money set on that. Fuck. The show can't move forward without it. I need the Tunerville Trolley. This is Dr. Mario config. Okay. I've heard enough fever. What's he building in there, quietly playing while approaching Dr. Andonut's lab? That'd be funny. What's he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? No, I'd be putting something weird. I'd be putting something from Alice in there. They're supposedly making a Space Channel 5 movie and I'm already pissed off. That's the thing that's like... It's probably gonna suck, right? But like, there's a part of me that's the thing. Like, again, like bringing it back to if I were some Hollywood big shot and someone's like, "Hey, make a movie out of this." If someone came to me with a make a Space Channel 5 movie, I'd be like, "Why would you make a Space Channel 5 movie? That's kind of an awesome idea, you know? Like, you could do something with that." But the thing is like, it's the sort of thing that you think about and you're like, you could do something with that, but I also don't trust the idea of someone else doing that. Get poor Edward in there? Now you're speaking my language. Now you're speaking my language. Have you heard the news about Edward? On the back of his head. Love the use of Tom Waits and robots. I love that. Just throwing underground in there. I love people who are like, I thought that was from robots. Nah, dude, Tom Waits is just like that. It's awesome. They should let me make it. That's what I'm saying. Ow. The idea of like making like... There's a lot of video games that I think would make really great movies because there's so little to them, you know? Like, they're practically a blank slate for coming up with, like, some kind of fan work for. Knight's movie? Knight's movie sounds dangerous. I'm trying to... A Knight's... Okay, first of all, a Knight's movie would have to be animated, right? Like, there's no way you're making a live-action Knight's movie. A Knight's Into Dreams movie... I almost want that to happen because it sounds like it could be like the greatest fuck up flop of a movie ever, and I kind of want to see that. You know? If I made the Knights movie, it would be beautiful and moving. I believe you, but I think if a Knights into Dreams, I think in our reality, if a Knights into Dreams movie happened, it would suck ass, but it would be really funny. Parodius movie. Yeah, it's like, what do you do with that? How do you make Pong into a movie, right? You've pleasantly surprised with The Last of Us show. Here's the thing, that's cheating. The Last of Us is practically a movie already. That's easy to make into a movie. That's like the easiest shit in the world to make a movie. Hey, make Uncharted into a movie. Yeah, it's already a fucking movie, bro. That's easy. Just fucking do that again. Oh, they did an Uncharted movie. I don't think anyone liked it. Like, that word left my mouth and I wasn't even thinking about that, you know? The Nightopians will be the next minions. I'm calling it now. I know it was bad. It's easy. Here's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how easy of a job something is. Someone can and will find a way to fuck it up, right? Nubby Number Factory movie. See, like, there's a lot of things that, like, I don't know, like Nubby's Number Factory, the cynical Hollywood part of my brain can think of a way to turn that into like a Illumination style animated movie, right? You just need to hit like the plot beats of like, oh, a guy does this and he meets Nubby and makes a number factory, you know, shit like that. Like in the same way that like, it's the cynical Hollywood side of my brain that like people take to whenever they make an adaptation of anything Dr. Seuss, right? How do you make a Lorax movie? You just do all the, well, you gotta make the one slur like more of a character. What if he has a song? Oh, and then he learns his lesson the hard way, and he's sad in his old day, but then you know, it's like, Dr. Mario Game Over kind of hitting. You basically just do the emoji movie, but you make a nubby. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a sort of thing. There's a through line of that kind of video game idea where it's like there's nothing there. There's like a through line where it's like this game has nothing to it, so you have to take some kind of existing premise and marry the two together. That doesn't interest me. What interests me is like Space Channel 5 is very evocative of a number of aesthetics. There is a story. There is gameplay that could correspond to some kind of plot or some kind of element that moves plot. But it's so... I say this in a good way. It's substanceless in a way that it is all just set dressing, you know? It's set dressing for a fun rhythm game. But the set dressing is very evocative of other sorts of things. A lot of them, like fucking 50 sci-fi films, right? It's all spectacle. So there's Michael Jackson, true. So you have all these like intersecting pieces that I think make for like an interesting poster board of things to draw from if you were to turn that into a movie, you know? The Mandela Catalog movie is going to confuse a lot of people. What is Mandela Catalog? I know I've heard that name before. I don't even know what that is. Someone should make a Warcraft movie. I think it would be epic. Where's the, me when I eat beef stew? Me when I eat... Wait, this is what it feels like to eat beef stew? Beef stew Warcraft. I'm never gonna find it. Fuck. I just searched beef stew Warcraft GIF. Fuck. You know the one I'm talking about. Warcraft GIF. Warcraft movie GIF dwarf. Fuck, I'm never gonna find it. I found pictures of the dwarf, but I can't find the specific behind the scenes one that was in that Tumblr post. Fuck, whatever. It really is me when I eat beef stew. Now, the heart back to Uncharted, but the whole point of Uncharted was like, what if you could play as Indiana Jones? So making it into a movie is like, what if we could watch Indiana Jones? Yeah, but like, which is easy, you know? It's really easy to just make another Indiana Jones. You just have to make sure it doesn't suck ass. Listen, if it's a Tumblr post that I remember when I've reblogged and I know how to find it on my own blog, I would have to go so far through my own archive to find it. Yeah, not even Indiana Jones could do that sometimes. One of them was kind of bad. Two of them were kind of bad, honestly. Well, I haven't watched the trilogy in a while. Tumblr search is unusable. You can't even find anything using it. The way that you find stuff on Tumblr is, I know what blog to look at that for, or I know where on my own blog to find that, and then you comb through your own archive. Or if you tag them and you have your own tagging system. First thing Indiana Jones movie? Yeah, oh, I wasn't even factoring in the other ones. I forgot they made other ones. I heard that new one wasn't terrible, but like, I don't know, why would I want to watch that? I did rewatch the ending of the fourth one in a hotel room recently because it was on TV, and I was like, I want to see the aliens again. There's the one GIF. There's the one shot where the alien's like squinting. That was funny. Oh, did you find beef stew? Yes! Thank you. Nicely done. I have to save this to my computer. This is me when I eat beef stew. What do you have for me? Oh, you also found it. Thank you, Celestial Bloodlust. Why is highlighting a message 100,000 points? Because I don't want people doing it. No better way to do that than make it completely inaccessible. Just don't do it. Yeah, this is a GIF. So for those who are not on Tumblr, this is a GIF of behind the scenes of Warcraft. I think was posted by the account for the official Warcraft movie. And then someone replied, "This is honestly how it feels to eat beef stew." What did you do? I have that on-screen celebration shit turned on? How do I turn that off? Why was that 40? Is that bits? Do you give me real bits for that? Why do I have that shit at 40 cents? Hang on. I need to change this right now. What the fuck? Manage power-ups. Just... Let's drop a few more zeros on that. Huh? What do you mean it can't be more than the max? It's not more than the max, it's 2,000. Let's add a couple zeros to these bit rewards. There we go. That's better. White hat chatter. Speaking of white hat, you know what I was thinking of the other day? I was thinking about the Westworld TV show, the HBO show. I really liked that show back when it was coming out. Well, I only watched like 2 seasons of it. The second one was starting to lose me. I think they made like 2 or 3 more seasons after that. I really liked the first season. That was fun. But I don't remember if it was like good. I remember it was good at the time that I was watching it. The last season wiped it from everyone's mind. How many did they make? Got this kind of wet beat. Westworld. 4 seasons. Wow. Time loops? What are they talking about? Okay, I liked... I watched those first 2 seasons last year, and the second made me regret it. The second one gets a little silly in a way that's like, okay. That was fun to watch. But 1 was kind of cool. I liked the... That show falls in the line of post-Lost television, where, like, Lost realized that making like a mystery show where it's like raising all these questions and kind of having people put the pieces together made for amazing television that did gangbusters. They unfortunately just forgot to have answers to the show while they were making it, and they learned their lesson. But then there's been a bunch of TV shows that, like Westworld, have had like that sort of mysterious, all these questions kind of come to you, but like they actually know what's happening. So like season 1 was like fun. It had a lot of like cool little mysteries where if you paid close attention, you could catch on. And then it kind of like, whoa, got big in a interesting way. People love a TV show they can talk about at work the next morning. I like watched that show with my old roommates and then my friends when it was going through its 2nd season. Or my roommates, and then I stopped living with them, but the show was still going, so I would go back to visit them to go watch the show. But yeah, we were just like, that was like our weekly ritual. Oh, that year was great. I might also just be rose-tinted glasses-ing that show because that happened during a really good year of my life. I really liked where I lived. I liked the people I lived with. I lived really close to a bunch of friends, so we could all just like come over to each other's apartments. That was fun. But yeah, it was like after the first season had all like these kind of cool, like simple, grounded rules, and then 2, it was like people are just transferring their consciousness from one to another, and it's like, okay, it's kind of lost the plot a little bit, so I don't know what the hell happened with it after that. Speaking of shows that got final season wiped them off the earth, once a house said a cat named Danny, but I glanced in the paperwork to reveal her true name to be Daenerys. And there you go. The number of animals and human people named Daenerys, I think, speaks for itself. I do feel very cynically proud of myself for jumping ship, knowing full well that Game of Thrones was not going well. I was like watching like season 4. What was the last season? Was it 5 or 6? I was watching season 4 or 5. That would have been like my junior year of college, around the same time. I was watching one of those seasons at school. We would like there a couple of nights would be where like one of the people in my building had like a small theater in it, and one of the people in my class had access to the theater because they helped as projectionists. So there would just be days where I met a huge group of friends by working super late in the building one night, and I was like gonna go home at 3 a.m. and then I realized I heard people in the theater. Like, I'm like, why are people in the theater right now? And I walk into the theater and see a bunch of upperclassmen in my department playing Melee up on like a massive screen, like in this theater all by themselves. And I was like, fuck yeah, let me in on this, whatever's going on here. And then that's how I became friends with that group, which is fun. By the way, but we also used that theater to watch like Game of Thrones when the new episodes were happening. 8 was the last? Holy fuck. Okay. One of the last seasons I was watching live and I was like, I don't think they're landing the plane, guys. I don't know if they're landing the plane on this one. And I stopped watching it. So then I just sort of got to enjoy from a distance, and everyone was like, that was bullshit. I was like, eh. Most I saw of Game of Thrones was a making of presentation of an Oreo ad where the world was made of cookie. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, that's a really funny message. You got to play Mario Kart 8 on the planetarium screen in the Science Museum? That's fun. Yeah, a lot of people got cold feet near the end. I certainly was in very good company. Oh, this makes me want to listen to fucking Tale of the Sun. Something about that song made me want to listen to Tale of the Sun. But that song, the fucking Cool Jets from Tale of the Sun gets caught for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even know if it's a legitimate claim. So many video game songs get like erroneously claimed by some motherfucker. Like what's it called? The Pokemon song. There's a funny Pokemon song that I have in my playlist that I won't play because some motherfucker has claimed it as their own, and I could protest it and be like, yo, and probably get it okay, but like it's just annoying at a certain point. Oh, you couldn't even see what I was bringing up because of beef stew. I don't know why. I was just like, I need something to listen to. Sims 1, baby. Some guy called DJ Nutsack samples it now in it. Listen, DJ Nutsack is a good friend of mine. I'll have you know. I also need to play Tale of the Sun. It's an that's a really weird little game. It's fun to watch. Oh, Sims OST on vinyl would be great. I'm a Sims 1 purist because I spent the most time playing Sims 1, but objectively speaking, I think Sims 1 has like the best soundtrack of any of them. So good. I think all the latter Sims, Bustin' Out is an exception because Bustin' Out was like going for something, or like Herbs, you know, those games. All of the mainline Sims games just kind of settled into this routine of I can't think of anything nicer to say than just this fuck ass simulator game music. Why the fuck is Asterisk blacklisted on the site? On what? Cage Insider? It could be blacklisted, or it could be that no one's ripped it. Probably more likely that it's been blacklisted, which is interesting. I don't know why. Thank you for your win. How do I say your name? Mayaswat? I've read your name a bunch and I have no idea how to say it. Oh, it was there? Killed it. Sad. Anyway, Mayaswat, you have won! Captain Falcon will always be bound. Oh, there's a list.
The evil forces will never get their hands on this belt. I'll keep winning.
Oh, what did I do? I fucked up all my tabs. I'm stuck on the scene. Hang on. I'm usually good at timing that better. Hang on. I'll keep spinning. Close tab. There we go. Sorry, my tabs got all fucked up. No albums from the Nintendo Music Streaming Service. Makes sense. Well, then they can keep the Mario Kart World soundtrack on there for as long as they want. There's Azric. Azric Rise of Parathia. Oh, it's by Jeremy Soule. That makes sense. I forgot that it was by Jeremy Soule. Bee Simulator, original game soundtrack. This would be a fun stream just to go through all the blacklisted things. Pick out good names. Bloodborne 10th Anniversary Edition, Volumes 1 and 2. That's so sad. Everything Borderlands. Whatever. No love lost there. Chicken Assassin, Chicken Invaders. Children of Mana. That's sad. Chrono Cross? Expedition 33, that doesn't surprise me. Fallout New Vegas radio stations. That's just real music. Makes sense. Field of Hopes and Strings. Deltarune cover album not allowed on there. Friday Night Fucking. Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist. Glittermint Grove. Why can't you put Glittermint Grove on there? What, Frog Fraction's too good for KH Insider? Jazz Arrange version near Gestalt, yeah. Anything Square Enix is probably a super, super fucking crapshoot. Whoa, look at all these League of Legends songs. Damn. Metroid Piano. I love that some of these are really benign, like Metroid Piano. Metroid Piano is not allowed on KH Insider. Pizza Tower? Huh. Why Pizza Tower is blacklisted? I'm guessing a lot of the blacklisted soundtracks are ones that are sold for money. That would make the most sense to me. League had a thing where they made a big single song for each yearly season to be a CGI cutscene. Doesn't surprise me. Pizza Tower's already up. Yeah, I mean, you could just probably find it wherever, but Pizza Tower is also just a good soundtrack that you can just buy through Steam or Bandcamp or whatever. Space Hulk? Space Hulk is not allowed. I'm noticing a lot of Elder Scrolls on here, which tells me that it's probably just a Jeremy Soule thing. Which would not surprise me. The music of League of Legends. Time's End, Majora's Mask Remixed. I think I know the guy who made that album. Isn't Time's End the Theophany? Yeah, that is Theophany. I know that dude. He's Jason. He's a good guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he did some good shit. Made got a huge deluge of attention from doing those kind of covers. Tommy Tallarico. First name, last name, not allowed on Cage Insider. Total War. Trials of Mana. Ultra Kill. Tunic? Why isn't Tunic OST on there? Wait, I swear Tunic was on here. Is it not? Where was I listening to Tunic recently? I swear to God I was listening to Tunic. Your mother is very, very proud you're blacklisted on KGVM. Hey, you know? Not allowed. Tunic might also be a materia joint? Yeah, I would be... It would make sense if, you know, Undertale, obviously. Makes sense if materia blacklisted all their shit. A lot of Warhammer 40k. Yick! Yick is on here. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Haha, redacted original game soundtrack. I know what that is. There's only one thing that could be. Mr. Pandaria specifically? Wait, was that really? Hang on. World of Warcraft. Wow, yeah, World of Warcraft Mr. Pandaria specifically. Huh. Is there other World of Warcraft music on here? What? They got all of it. They have... Why is Mr. Pandaria blacklisted? Wait, what? Should you be glad you don't know what Redacted is? Redacted is the Nintendo Playtest program, which is a game that is like an MMO that they're trying to keep under wraps. But the fact of the matter is people have extracted the music. I was generously provided the music. Thank you, Big Fake. Let's listen to some Silvermoon. Where's Silvermoon? Silvermoon isn't on here. Oh, Jeremy Soule did a few songs for Myst. Hey! Man, Jeremy Soule fucking hates this site. Eversong Woods. Is that the name of an album or like a song? I don't know, wow. World of Warcraft. Oh, from Burning Crusade. There it is. Hold. Very nice. Oh, this is the Blood Elf starting area? That's fun. I should come through World of Warcraft just to make, like, tabletop playlists. As previously mentioned, I have a fuckload of Pathfinder books that I'm going to be babysitting for the better part of a year. I might as well read some of them. I think I played WoW once on a friend's account for like a few minutes. And that was probably 2006. Maybe 2007. Actually, probably 2007. So whatever was going on in 2007, I briefly touched World of Warcraft. And by which I mean really, truly touched. Yeah, it seems extremely optimized for TTRPG playlists, which is good. Really easy one for you in Wrath of the Lich King is Grizzly Hills. Wrath of the Lich King is one that I recognize the name of. I remember that one going hard. A lot of people talking about that one. Grizzly Hills. That's where you came up with the name Logmore? That's great. Very down-tempo Highlands song. I could totally see talking to a quest giver, walking around and things like, ooh. It's got that Shire swag. The tasteful French horns in the background. You've been playing Mabinogi recently, though? We know Mira's been playing Mabinogi. I don't know much about that game. Other than it looks interesting. Man, I had a pretty good chance to work at Blizzard, and I did not take it. Looking back, I'm grateful, but, like, could have been cool. Might have been neat. The music in Mabinogi is good? I'll have to listen to it. I could listen to it right now. If it's on here. Oh, yeah, this is what... That fucking alphabetical game rip. Now we're talking. Hang on. Is there a slightly better... There's a soundtrack. Oh, hang on. I have to check something. I wish there was a way for me to show you what just happened. So I had a there's a little stray cat in my neighborhood that I am sponsoring, so to speak. I feed him. I leave him some food outside sometimes. And it's gotten dark and I realized I left the food out there, which is when other critters will come out and get it. And usually when I like look out to investigate, I'll see like a raccoon like looking at the food and he's like, "Oh shit." And he like fucking books it. There's a baby skunk right outside who was tucking into the food. And when I kind of like opened the door, like, hey, buddy, get away from that. He fucking like got defensive. He like grabbed the bowl and started pulling it towards him. I'm like, hey, bro, no. And skunks are the one you want to like, you don't want to fuck with them too much because they might fucking create a fucking smoke bomb. So I had to like pick up a broom and just kind of like gently, like not even like push him, just kind of like scooch it at him until he like walked away. It was really cute. He's like a really, really tiny little skunk. Skunks are... Raccoons are fuckers. They're cute. They're very cute animals, but they're fuckers. I think he's spilled some cat food and he's picking at it. He can have that. That's fine. Raccoons are fuckers. They're cute, but they're fuckers, and I hate them. Skunks are just cute. They're also fuckers, but they're very, very cute. Mikey got to the second interview stage for senior animator role, and then 2 weeks after the last interview, they said, actually, we no longer have the budget from Xbox for this position. Sorry, it was a few months back. Picked a good time to not go into the games industry, I'll tell you what. Mabinogi. Skunks don't leave their babies alone? Yeah, probably. He does seem to be pretty alone. Now they have even less budget. Hey. Yeah, I mean... game industry not doing so hot. That was another thing I kind of saw the signs out, a ways out. I'm like, I'm gonna try to do something else. Hi, Fish. With Hyacinth in the Mind is a banger. With a hyacinth between your teeth? Is that the one? Blizzard Sim has 13k employees? Yeah. So they do. Well, they got their hands on a lot of pies also. They're not all making video games there. They're doing a bunch of other shit. My in would have been the cinematics department, actually. My previs professor in college was like the head of cinematics training for Blizzard. I have like this weird... It's not actually a bald spot. There's just like a spot between my hair that I keep seeing. And it bothers me. La Tail. Is that the people who made this music? Anyway. My old previs professor was the head of cinematics training at Blizzard. And, you're making me want bangs? These were a mistake. They're okay looking, but I shouldn't have cut them. It was a bad idea. And he was a great professor. I wish that class was longer. It wasn't long enough. Latte is on the Perfect World Scroll. Oh, very nice. There's a response to Maple Story's popularity? That's funny. Anyway, so he was the head of cinematics training at Blizzard, and he really liked my work in that class. Like, very, very clearly impressed multiple times. It felt really, really good. And like, at the end of the class, he gave me a couple of notes, because, like, I think I briefly mentioned, like, it would be cool to work at Blizzard. And he briefly gave me a couple of notes, like, make sure you have a couple... This was back in 2016, maybe 17, so it's probably completely different now. But back then, he was like, make sure you have a cover letter. They're not going to fucking look at your shit if you don't have a cover letter. If you do apply, send me an email. And I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. So, could have made good on that. Could have been working on those fuck-ass cool Blizzard cinematics, but here I am, not doing that. It's true, if you do have a kind of bad hairline. I have a bad hair. I have like a Vegeta Widow's Peak. I don't think my hairline is receding. I think it literally is, but it's not like receding in a concerning manner. It's just, it's probably receded like less than an inch. I've always had a 5 head, so I've always kind of tried to find ways to like slightly curtain that part of my head. One of my teachers was the sandbox animation lead at Bungie and got canned, still hasn't found work. Tried to ask him about any leads for animator roles and sent me back, tell me if you find any. Yeah. Not good. Dodged a damn bullet. You know what's far more stable than animation? Live events. People are having those all the time. I had a professor help me get in contact with a buddy at Riot. Probably good that one didn't work out. You probably would have been first on the chopping block. Not even to say anything of your skill, but like the way that these companies work, like people get hired on for like game-long contracts or even shorter, just like brief contracts. If you're on a brief contract, you're gone. You got flashes of Walton Goggins in your mind when you looked in a mirror recently. That's a funny way of describing it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do if my hair up and goes. I'd like to think I'd be graceful about it. I like having hair, clearly. It's long, you know? If it starts going away, then... oh well. Those are the cards I get given. I'm certainly not gonna, like, prolong it. I think, like, if I get, like riffraff hair, where it's, like, up to, like, here, you know, and I still got long hair, I'm not gonna be doing that, I don't think. I think I'm probably gonna be shaving it before that. Making rap beats and dance music is more consistent than making game music like I wanted to for a while. It's true, honestly. Like, if you're especially like working as a musician, there's a lot more stability to be made in that. Whereas with video games is like, even if you find video games to make music for, who's to say that those are even going to come out, right? One friend did a bunch of concepts for really well-received games, but I got axed with 0 reports after working there for 2 years. I heard enough horror stories from my friend, my good friend Haranit, who probably does not work at Riot anymore, but she worked at Riot for a good while, doing animations. And I'll never forget her story. She's not super online, but she did work for a skin, which... apparently she just, you know, and she posted her work where it's like, hey, here's all the animations I made for the new, I don't know, shit about League, like the new whatever skin. And it was apparently one of those paid skins that people were not into. So people were taking it out on her. Like, this shit looks like bad. This shit looks bad. Why are they charging this much for it? This is terrible. And it's like, she's like, fuck me then. I guess I'm never going to post anything online ever again. Why bother? These fucking brainless League of Legends players just ruining the whole thing for everyone. Yeah. What do you do? Everyone I know who's worked at Riot is either kind of like either had like good things to say but kind of dealt with a lot of bad things from the fans, or was legitimately a bad person. It's very caustic. That's a whole other level. Like, the game industry's fucked, but also you could just work on a game with an extremely caustic fandom, and it's like, ugh. If I work on a game like that, you're never gonna hear it from me. I'm not gonna talk shit about it. I would want nothing less than to have League of Legends fans following me and actively trying to interface with me and my work. Crazy. There's lots of problems with the games industry. Gamers are, in fact, one of them. Into a holiday with a lot of Riot people once in 2017. Win as a Dota player and won as much as your merch as you could. Pretty good bit. Who's ready for mid lane? Who here's fucking with Triad Protector? Borderlands is in between. Yeah, I think Borderlands, in my mind, leans much towards the gamer side, but I feel like it has enough general ire drawn towards it that it probably fizzles out being more in the middle. I think I'm capturing Roshan! Hey everyone, let's go! Roshan's up, let's go fight him! I like a lot of these titles. The moon shines on the head of my hammer! The beauty's poker face. My way of the 20s. The place where the light from the stars aligned. I love these Japanese titles. A girl's feeling in iron. I can't see any flaw in this gem. Days gone by are like the wind. A heart reflected in a dagger. Health bonsai. Pride of the blacksmith shop. Sorrow reflected in glass. Let's stop worrying. Parental love put into my pickaxe. Wizard of the Legend. Can't get much more straightforward than that. Onei-chan, run! God bless us. Deep Fortress. Hatred. Dark Knight. Scene 0. Dream full of delicious cooking. Irashaimase. They have unique themes for almost every NPC you can talk to in the game, so the track names get a bit strange. That's awesome. I love that. Is there a James theme? There should be a James theme. Oh yeah, Limerick, James theme. Willow's theme. That's funny. Just required your roll the sound canvas VST, so you might need to make some shit. Oh, that's good. I need to, I have a Roland Sound Canvas sound font that's pretty good. I would love a VST for it at some point. But the sound canvas is like... Isn't the sound canvas like an aggregate of like the 55 and the 88? And then some other shit? Like, I don't remember it. I'm not the most scholarly when it comes to these things. I do have a Shockwave sound font file. Can I ask who that green fuck is, by the way? That's, the Good Dinosaur from The Good Dinosaur. I don't know his name, but he's been listening to music lately. Yeah, that's W.D. Gaster. Yeah, that's W.D. Gaster. He misses his family. What else is there to say? Western Digital Gaster? That's a great idea for what his name is. Darn sheep. I just noticed. I like all of these. I gotta listen to more MMO tunes. Ooh. Hi, Erica. This is the super old login theme? Grandmother told us the story of the olden days. Badass. The only MMO I play... If you're Dungeon Fighter music... I actually haven't heard Dungeon Fighter music. I should check that out, too. The only MMO I play is Warframe. Which is hardly an MMO, but it is an MMO. And there was the big Warframe convention that they had, and they had a big concert. And they played like a big medley of like recent Warframe music, and it was kind of like a Where's Where of login songs from the past while. And it was funny to have... I've never had that relationship with a game where I'm like, oh, this is the login theme from 2 years ago. Like, it's funny things like that. You hit a PSOBB recently and they started playing Burning Rangers music? Fuck yeah. Burning Rangers! When I played Warframe, I used to just mute the music and pipe to Italio Disco. The Warframe music is actually, like... It's pretty good. It's honestly pretty good, but I usually leave it off most of the time. Just because any game where you have to hear the same music over and over again, like, it gets old eventually. But, like... The first time you hear it, you know, if you're hearing if you're doing a quest or like you're going to a new area for the first time, like, yeah, it's good music. We'll always stay by your side. Running at the speed of light. I have to pause this. I'm sorry. Fly high with grace and pride. We're gonna make it right. Oh, the stream of... What? That's not what I want. No, it's Burning Rangers, not Burning Angels. I typed in the wrong thing. Oh, fuck. That's a game rip. I don't know what that is. Theme song CD? Here we go. This better not get caught or I'm going to be sad. I love the Japanese version too. I wonder which one this is. This song's awesome. The game is, it's a game. The music's badass though. My love, yeah, magic. I've never played Warframe, but I have the spirit. It's like the Lotus spirit in Smash Brothers. That shit is so funny to me because I definitely played Smash Brothers before Warframe, and just that didn't register to me. And then after playing Warframe, someone pointed out, I was like, "There's a Lotus spirit in Smash Brothers." I'm like, "There is? What?" We're gonna make it right. One thing I really liked about Black Desert Online was the horse riding variations of all the area tracks. For every zone, they would add a Mario Sunshine on Yoshi type backing track to it. That's awesome. I love that. I know the English version of this better, which is, I forget that guy's name, but the guy who sang Big's theme. I like that version too, but can't beat this guy. Are there any Undertale or Deltarune spirits? I don't think so. That's a good question. I don't think there are. I feel like Deltarune's Undertale's only involvement is Sans, and there's a Megalovania in it. I don't remember. There was a Sans costume. It was a Mii Fighter costume. There was a Zagreus spirit? That's funny, I didn't even know that. Just do it, just Burning Rangers! Do they know who played the sax on this? Marlon D. Sanders, that's the guy. Oh, they don't credit the other musicians. No, Marlon Sanders is, Marlon Saunders is the guy who sang the English one. I don't think he plays sax. I think that's just the... Is it this one? Oh, shit. Oh, Armored Core. Sorry. Oh, there's a lot of Armored Core on here. Which Armored Core should I listen to? You're gonna have to stop me before I type in Evergrace 2 and start listening to Evergrace 2. Silent Line or 3? Okay. Oh, it's the same guy who sings Unknown for me. Yeah, that's right. I love it. Fucking Evergrace is awesome. Fucking... I've said this multiple times, and I still hold it true. There's a song from Evergrace 1 that is frequently on lists of worst video game music ever. And people who think that it's one of the worst pieces of video game music ever just simply lack the vision. They don't understand. Armored Core 4 Answer has a killer song called Someone Is Always Moving on the Surface. These two soundtracks are soundtracks I could put this on and listen to it for hours. I love it. Drakengard literally on the screen. Was it a clip from The Sopranos? There was like a really good clip that I saw of someone like... I think it's a clip from The Sopranos. I don't know what scene it is, but there's like a scene of like two people driving, and there's a woman in the passenger seat who is like trying desperately to hold back tears, and they're just playing Drakengard music over it, and it's like when you're trying to show your friend Drakengard music. Dun 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 dun. It's fucking awesome. I wish I could find that video. Evergrace 2 is like a little bit more put together than Evergrace 1 is. Evergrace 1 is awesome, but he was like really throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall. 2 kind of like is still weird in the same way, but it locks in a little bit more. Yeah, if you've never listened to Evergrace 1 and 2, highly recommend it. Is 2 worth playing? I've never even played either of them. The story... I watched a video that someone made where they kind of, like, gave a breakdown of the story. And it has a very interesting plot and kind of narrative. The game itself is kind of, like, middling JRPG. But, like... music's fucking spectacular. Yeah, Evergrace 1 is, like, difficult and annoying. I don't know much about 2. This is, like... I've seen a little bit of gameplay footage of Evergrace 2. It looks bad, but also the kind of bad in, like, a charming way. Like, maybe it'd be fun to actually try it, but, like, I don't know. These, the designs are a vibe, though. Look at these cats. It's a vibe, at least. Yeah, this is old FromSoft. This is why I brought this up, because it's the Armored Core guy. I don't know if he did all the Armored Cores, but he did a good number of them. Did the music for these games. And this game is where he, like, fucking... Hang on. Just, like... Let's go to Evergrace 1. Just, like... Fuck it, man. Just throw all the sample CDs I have at this. We're just trying everything. Overlapping time signatures. No tonal center. We're doing it. So anyway, this is the song that this is on the song that is on so many lists of worst video game music ever. Just give it a minute. Give it a minute. It's just a song that like fucking lambasts you like the first 10 seconds, so you're like, what the fuck am I listening to? But it's interesting. It's dense. You have to listen to it a little bit to know what you're actually listening to. Did I ever post about the worst songs and Tales of Legendia? Please do. Please do. There's one song that sounds like the James Bond Bar Mitzvah video. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Please get Wayne to play Crystal Chronicles again. We've been trying, dog. We've been trying. I want to bring back the Berries 4. That didgeridoo type beat. We got a Mercury in Half-Life, that's all you get for now, exactly. Me at the club. Anyway, highly recommend Evergrace's soundtrack. Sorry, Armored Core. Let me bookmark Mabinogi so I remember to come back to it. Go there, save. Trish, are you still here? What did you say? 3? 4 answer? Was that another one that someone recommended? Let's try 3. I've heard things about 3. Oh, this is a sound rip of some kind. 3 and start with Artificial Sky. These don't have names. These don't have names. Armored Core 3 original soundtrack. Artificial Sky. Artificial Sky 1. This sounds like what I was listening to. On Satelloid and In My Heart. Okay. Did he do the whole soundtrack? What's the fucker's name? Kota Hoshino, that's his name. Oh, Tsukasa Saito did songs for this too. Okay, that's good. Tsukasa Saito's a goat. He's in he's on fucking Bloodborne. One of my fucking favorite games ever. Which ones did he do? I think Tsukaka Saito did, like the Cleric Beast theme? It said is Bloodborne allowed on here? There's some Bloodborne volume. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Tsukasa Saito did... Yes, he did Cleric Beast, he did Bloodstarved Beast, Dark Beast Parl, and Gurman. That's right. He did the heavy hitters. Was he the lead? I don't remember. Old Hunters. He did, I think he did... Well, he definitely did Lawrence's theme, because that's just a remix of Cleric Beast's theme. Maybe he did Orphan of Cause? The guy who did Ludwig, I think, was Nobuyushi Suzuki? They be speaking in tongues in the background. Nobuyoshi Suzuki, yeah. Nobuyoshi Suzuki's mwah, baller. Ryan Amon, baller. Yuka Kitamura, baller. I need to watch the Witch Hat anime. She did the music for that. Who did Gurman's theme? Tsukasa Saito. Same guy who worked on this somewhere. I don't know which song. It doesn't really specify in this soundtrack. Yuka Kitamura is so cool. I love her. This is Koto Hoshido. You don't need to tell me twice. Ooh. I should play Armored Core. I've never played one of them. I watched someone play the new one. It looks cool. I thought about getting the new one, but I was like, I don't think I'd be good at it, so it's like kind of a hard pick. And I know the older ones are... I mean, it was Armored Core that had the control scheme where you played with the controller upside down, right? I wish I had this kind of ingenuity with, like, samples. I mean, it's not, like, a hard thing to get over. I just need to get more samples so I can play with them. But, like, man, it's good shit. I'm so used to hearing these guys do fuck-ass fantasy music. Good music. Good fantasy music. But it's funny hearing... this. It's funny because, like, with Dark Souls, if memory serves, I think 1 and 2 were, like, all Moto's... They were all Sakuraba, weren't they? And then, like, Bloodborne, they brought in the other FromSoft crew to work on it. And then DS3 was, like, them and Sakuraba. Yeah, Sakuraba posting. Yeah, that's the thing that's cool, is like I like the idea of like having a control scheme where it feels like you're moving a big clunky piece of shit machine. That's cool. Here's a hot take. I really like Sakuraba. I think Dark Souls is not especially good music-wise. I feel like it was kind of a weaker side of Sakuraba's kit. Like the straight up fantasy shit. I do like the idea of it because it's very funny on paper to be like, hey, prog rock guy, make a sword and sorcery fantasy soundtrack. No, you're not allowed to use the prog rock stuff. No. You gotta use strings, you gotta use fuck ass string VSTs and shit. And he's like, okay. Some of the songs are great, you know, like fucking Gwyn's theme, baller. Ornstein Smo, baller. Yeah, they need to let him do like the Mario Tennis shit, like in Dark Souls. I need to listen to that Mario Tennis song. Brief aside. Is it this one? There's a specific one I'm thinking of. Why did they let the JRPG prog guy do a fucking Mario Tennis game? Why? I love it. This is the one I was thinking of. This is a boss theme from a Tales of game. This isn't fucking Mario Tennis. What are you talking about? Anyway, take this guy, put him sword and sorcery. What do you do? I don't know. I don't know, man. I think he did a good job, but it's not my favorite work of his. Did he do, he did a couple of good songs in DS3. Did he do Vort's theme? I liked Vort's theme. Dark Souls 3 isn't on here? VGMDB, save me. Why do you need to do Cloudflare checks on me? I don't have a fucking thing on. Sakuraba did. Yes, he did Vort. He did Curse Rod of Greatwood. He did Crystal Sages. He did Walnir. He did Old Demon King. He did Nameless King. Makes sense. And he did Aldrich. Ooh. Those are all good from what I remember. I haven't played DS3 in a minute. Man, Yuki Kimura did a lot of shit on the soundtrack. I forgot. Nobuyoshi Suzuki only did like Deacons of the Deep, which Deacons of the Deep is fucking baller. That's a good theme. And Saito only did one. He only did Edex Gundyr, which is a good song. The rest of it was all like Kitamura and Sakuraba. That's crazy. DS3 had a good soundtrack. I really liked it. Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of people who don't like DS3, and I get it, but I like it. Had a lot of good going for it. I think the track names are good. No More Cry, In My Heart, Your Doors, Milk, Follow. At that time. Was Sekiro just Kitamura? She was definitely the music director. I don't think it was all her. Sekiro soundtrack. That was like her game. I remember that much. Oh shit, I guess that was Disc 321. Sorry, my microphone's a little too loud to think. One track was composed by Noriyuki Asakura, who I don't recognize. Everything else was her. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I know she was like the music director for that game. I didn't realize that was just all her. God damn. God damn, girl. how much collaboration happens in game music composing? It really depends. And I think that's a thing that I find very interesting about it. I need to turn the line off. Hang on a second. I think that's the thing that interests me about it is like, there's lots of games where just kind of multiple people are credited and it's not really clear who did what or where, you know. Sometimes, like with a lot of the From Software soundtracks, they do actually specifically credit like whose songs was whose. And then there's some cases where like Earthbound was done by 2 people and they were very open about their process, and it was the sort of thing where like you could kind of speculate and kind of guess like, this sounds like Chip Tanaka, this sounds like Keiichi Suzuki, but overall it seemed to be like mostly Suzuki doing the music and then Tanaka doing like the programming. Like they were kind of open in saying that was most of the relationship, but like Tanaka is amazing musician composer in of his own right. He's just like a fucking genius when it comes to like programming shit. So they have him do that. And then there's some games, Animal Crossing 1 has always interested me because that had a really Spartan division of work. That was done by like 4 Nintendo Titans of the time. And they literally split it up by like indoor music, outdoor music, event music, and then everything else. Like, it says that in the credits, and like you listen to the soundtrack and it's like, yes, the indoor music does sound like Mitsuyoshi. I don't remember his name. The outdoor music does all sound like the same guy. The blank music does sound like blank. But that's a weird one. That's a weird example. And then a lot of times they just don't fucking say. They're just like, it was made by the sound team. Thanks, guys. You know, which is just all sorts of reasons for that. Some of the Melee and 64 arrangements, they didn't reveal who did what until Ultimate. Yeah, see, like shit like that. Like, I don't know. You don't know until they finally come out and say it eventually. You hear about music? What's the pose? Either way, I find game composing like fascinating because it's rarely like just a monolith of one guy did all the music and it was all awesome, right? And I like it when it's like an open process because, you know, so a lot of times it is just one guy did all the music and it was baller, but like a lot of times it's like a collaborative effort, and when it's a collaborative effort, I really like knowing more about like who did what, how did you split the work, because like I've written songs with other people before. Sometimes it is depending on like how involved you are with the work, it is kind of easy to just like take something, hand it off to another person, or be another person and get handed something and be like, yeah, I could work with this, you know? Yeah, Square's okay about that. They're pretty good about like crediting people who work on their games. Like fucking the FF7 remake soundtrack, that's like, I think they did too much. I'm saying this as a lifelong FF7 fan. They might have done too much. They needed like 10 CDs to fit all that damn music, and half of it you only hear for like one scene. Like, I realized there was like a problem when like in the first game, in FF7 Remake, there's 2 remixes of like, there's the Slums theme got relegated to a boilerplate gang of goons that fight you at like a couple junctions in the game. So you hear it in the cutscene before you fight them, and then a really sick remix version of it is the battle scene for them. Then you don't hear it anytime else. And like, that's like one of my favorite songs from early FF7. The arrangement is so fucking good, and it only plays under that cutscene. Like the straight remix. And it's like, fuck, that's awesome. And then you never hear it again. You do hear the battle theme version of it, which is pretty cool, but it's like, you had a really fucking good arrangement of this, and there's only 10 seconds of it in the game because you didn't have room for everything else. So you have like this expansive soundtrack, hours upon hours of incredibly well-made, well-produced music, and it's so like piecemeal, littered throughout the game that it's like, is this good? I don't even know if this is good anymore. I kind of like having a bunch of shit to listen to, but also in terms of like not even like, oh, is it fair to have people work so little, you know, like whatever, like nothing like that. Just like, was it worth making this much music for a game? I mean, granted, that problem kind of extends to the entirety of FF7, the remake games, is like both of them are like, there's so much game in the game. Like, I haven't even played it all myself, but I was thinking about it again because Chip Cheesem finally started his Let's Play for Rebirth, so I've been kind of like re-experiencing it. It's like if someone had a horrible scope creep, but they actually had infinite time, budget, and resources. That's literally like what happened. They've had, like, I'm sure it hasn't been in active development ever since then, but they've had since like 1997 to fucking think about this shit. Granted, they spent a good portion of that time working on the like 7 other FF7 games, you know? The fucking dog theme song has its own remix. Exactly. It's like, do you need all this? I'm glad you did. As an FF7 fan who is able to just get the soundtrack and listen to it, I'm glad you did it. But also it's like, for making a video game, we've really and truly lost the plot with making this remake, you know? It's just, it is kind of bloated, which is, you know, I'm glad there's a lot to go through, but it's like, is it good? You know. Does New Mercantown have a battle remix? Which one's New Mercantown? It's the theme song for the girl. That is like the failed girl? Aerith? Oh, Aerith's theme? Or which failed girl are you talking about? I'm waiting. Oh, Kyrie, yeah. Her. Does she have a battle theme? Or does her theme song have a battle theme? I don't know. Maybe it does. There's a lot going on there. And then, like, on top of whatever you think about the game, like, the story choices are, like, it's in that state where it's, like, any sort of serial work has this problem. With any sort of piece of art that's not done yet. Thank you for coming. I'll probably stop soon. It's been, like, almost 3 hours. Any serial work is subject to the same problem, which is it's not over yet. And when you think, I wonder how it's going to end, you know full well that the ending could be bad. So every single choice that's made that's like, ooh, what does this mean? It's the Lost problem. We were talking about Lost earlier, right? It's like, this could be nothing. Like, this is fascinating, but this could be nothing. They might have fucked up. Not to say that everyone has made the same mistake as Lost, but it's like Lost has created the precedent where you have to be kind of wary. Like, that could happen. So, like, FF7's doing a lot of interesting... The remake is doing a lot of interesting stuff with the story. And it's like, is it going to be good? Like, what are they thinking? And you're not going to have an answer until the third game comes out. So it's like, I don't know. If they shit the bed on the FF7 remake, I knew it would at least be interesting to talk about. I agree. That's the thing that I'm hoping most of all, is that it's at least fascinating. I think, but the thing is, like, there's a number of things they've been doing that I've been kind of thinking like, huh, I wonder how that's going to fizzle out. The thing I think was the biggest, like, eye-rolling thing was how they handled Aerith getting murked, where, like, they like wanted to have their cake and eat it too, because like that's the biggest moment of anticipation for anyone with any knowledge of FF7, right? So like the lead up to, there's all sorts of foreshadowing and lead up to it, even if you don't know that. And then when you get to the moment, they change it by like having like they act like the fate's gonna be different, but then it's not. And then it's like, okay, why? Unless that in itself is going to pay off somehow, which maybe it will, I don't know. But it's like the presentation on that part was really like, you could have just had him stab her. It worked the first time, you know? It's like, it's okay if we knew it was going to happen. You could just have him stab her, you know? But I think, like, their overall theme of, like, destiny is being altered is kind of... Yeah, Cloud dies. There we go. Now we're talking. See, like, they've been playing... Like, the whole first game is like, oh, fate can be rewritten. And they're kind of like... And that's the sort of first thing. It's like, I wonder if they're going to do something fucked up with Aerith. And it turns out they sort of didn't, which is also weird. But then game 2 starts off with, like, Zack showing up in the middle of the story. And it's like, where did Zack come from? What's Zack doing here? It's the sort of thing that's like, if you have prior knowledge of FF7, you just play through that part and you're like, huh, why is Zack here? Like, it's very weird. And it's in a way where it's like, it's so weird that I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like the answer to this, you know? All I'm going to say is that third game is called Rebirth. I mean, the third one has to be... I don't know if they've announced it. The third one has to be Reunion, right? There's no way they would start a re-prefix title thing with FF7 and not call the last one Reunion. They have to call it Reunion. That'd be ridiculous if they called it anything else. But I don't know. I don't work at Square Enix. I don't know what those guys are thinking. It's Revelation! Guys! It's Rebirth 2! It's the second remix of the final battle from FF5. They even got better with start from GBA version 4 going in the new arrangement boss. Actually, that was one thing I really objectively really like about FF7. Get Gilgamesh in there. We have our chance to make up for our past mistakes. Get Gilgamesh back in there. You're on the roster, buddy. That was fun. I like that they did that. And honestly, like, there's a lot of belly aching, but like, I love so much stuff about the remake games, and like, I will never stop talking about how fucking I've literally, I think I've talked about this on stream, is like the fucking Genova theme in the end of remake. It's like, oh, so fucking good. Oh, they used Reunion for a mobile game. My man, that literally is like me seeing Gilgamesh is like, my man, there he is. The Genova theme, when like, because every remake, every arrangement of the music from FF7 has always been like orchestral or like orchestral metal, you know? It's like they always lean into like it, like FF7, all the Advent Children stuff came out like during like the time when like orchestral metal was like super big. So like the Black Mages, like all these like tertiary things. So like the first two phases of the Genova theme are that typical sort of orchestral, very lush, very good, very motivic orchestral arrangement. But then you get to the final phase and it's just straight up redo, like very, very earnest, straightforward rearrangement of the main theme, driving synth bass and all. It was like, oh, fuck, that shit hits so hard. Oh, so good. Beautiful. There's a lot of good music in it. Like, a lot of the rearrangements are good. A lot of the use of field themes that transition into battle themes is really good. Like, it's funny, it's like, it's really involved, and I have a lot of respect for it. Like, there's so many variants of like the world map theme turning into the battle theme for the world map. And the overall structure of it's also very good, where it's like it transitions, it like metric modulates really well, where like the overall theme's like dun, 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 and then it goes in the battle theme, it's like dun, 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 you know, like chops up the beats to make it like go faster and stuff like that, so it perfectly transitions in and out. And they do that with like a lot of areas in the game, and I like that. They do a lot of great work with that soundtrack. Yeah, there's a lot of craft that goes into that level of like dynamic music that I appreciate on its face. Even if the music sucked ass, I would still respect that they put all that work in, you know? Video game music's cool, and I love it. It's also been almost 3 hours of yammering. It's well past my bedtime. I should go to bed soon-ish. It's really close. In my head, I was BPM matching it, and I was like, I'm gonna put the Shy Guy GIF back on screen. It's pretty dang close. If you want to hear an official remix of the FF9 boss battle theme, they got a trance beat. They did the Doom Train fight in FF14. That's fun. I'll listen to that really fast. Ooh. 14's also got a lot of good music. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, they did get Tom Morello on a song. I heard about that. This is from 9? I don't remember this. Yeah, this is from 9. That's right. You know what I always think of when I think of FF9 boss themes? This might be really loud. I need to be careful. I got it in here somewhere. Hang on. I always think of this. I apologize if this is loud. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm so sorry. I need to... Hang on, I need to hear... I can't hear this. I need to turn the monitor on. Where Tiger casts Odin at the drop? Exactly. I fucking love this video. Fucking like commercial break theme. Oh god. Fucking FF9 NFL theme fucking makes me laugh every fucking time I think of it. You gotta post this somewhere? I can't find it? Hang on. I'll post it on... Belbian, are you on Blue Sky? I'll post it on Blue Sky. Later. What was I listening to? I was listening to Doom Train theme. You know what I also think of? I think, no, this is FF8. Where'd it go? You already know what it is. This is another Final Fantasy boss theme joke that I always think of.
Water and water and water, water, 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 water and water, water, water and water and water, water.
Classic. Don't autoplay. Fuck off. Water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water. What was... There's another one I'm thinking of. Oh no, I was just thinking of the No, where is it? Here it is. God, I love this pick. This is one of my fucking favorite picks ever. No, this is too... What was I listening to? This was another thing that Remake did wrong. IMO. He should have dunked the snake. He should have dunked Midgar Zalem onto a fucking tree like everyone thought he did. But he doesn't. He fucking like sends it up in a whirlwind and it lands, which is pretty badass, but it's like he's gotta dunk it. Can we listen to Archives Fantasia OST? I'm gonna get like PTSD if we listen to the Archives Fantasia OST. Maybe someday. Fascinating things to say as someone who's never... I promise this is funny if you know FF7. This is kind of a... It's kind of a high concept bit even if you do know what FF7 is. Yeah, it was the Midgar Zalem because they couldn't translate Midgard Somer or whatever it is. That shit's still the Midgar Zalem to me. Damn, Armor Core's good. Oh, my frames are dying. Ye gads. I think that's as good a sign as any that I need to stop. You were listening to Ancient Roman OST? That's also a good one. But I think we just had a hiccup. No, it's definitely going down. My ISP is telling me that I can no longer stream, so I'm gonna cut the stream there. Did Sephiroth do this? He might have. Sephiroth's fucking my shit. Thank you all for coming to my whatever this is. I'll be back later. I don't know doing what. I have some time off, but then I have to work next weekend. Then I'm going to be kind of busy in August, so I don't know. But thank you all for coming. I'll see you sometime. Hope you all have a good one. Oh, that was a perfect place to stop. All right, good night, everyone. Which ending should I play? I have that ending that's from Godzilla vs. Megalon that I want to play so bad, but it gets like fucking nuked off of YouTube. Which one do I play? I'll play the guinea pig one.